Basically a psychological implantation. And that's what all these terror drills and this stuff are. And then once they get you in the re-education camp level, this is what the whole country is, a giant sports stadium, re-education camp, like out of Red Dawn or something, but the whole country's being turned into that, with these weak-minded people that just receive whatever the news says is real. And all over the country, I see it every week where they go into elementary schools, businesses, and they announce, we're going to kill you. We're the militia against government. We're the militia against public schools. And they're told in the federal grants to say this. We're the militia for the Second Amendment. Again, to create a trauma with people against the Second Amendment. They found that the weak-minded unconscious, if they're told, guys in camo are screaming, I'm going to blow your 5-year-old's head off, and then the kid comes home, soiled pants, everything else, and they call the school and they go, well, you know, Michigan, it's happened all over. It's a federal drill. We have to follow that script. And the parents usually don't blame. Most of them, they go, oh, I understand. You're preparing for the homeschoolers to attack. You're preparing for the militia. And they go, those dirty militia. Because subconsciously the parents know the school's evil, know the government's engaged in mind control, in crossing boundaries, TSA sticking their hands down your pants, body scanning you. It's all about pushing boundaries. That's why Ted Turner and Hansen at NASA and Dr. Pianka at UT, literally thousands of them. I mean, every day, without looking, I see big academics, the head IPCC, UN author, scientist of the whole carbon tax takeover. I mean, it's every day, several times a week, Watson writes articles about it, where they say, we need authoritarianism, it's good. Just like in the 30s, when authoritarianism was being promoted as the solution to all the ills, how great Hitler was, how great Mussolini was, how great Stalin was. Our news in the 20s, 30s, 40s, right up until 1939, 1940, it was Adolf Hitler is good. We need to save the environment, be vegetarians. He was a rock star in the U.S., just worshipped. I mean, that's on record. You're supposed to forget that. Stalin was Uncle Joe, admired. The Communist Party was the third biggest party in the U.S. We were told how good Stalin was. We were told, and George Bernard Shaw and all the top liberals, Nobel Prize winners, Bertrand Russell would get up and say, Mussolini, Mussolini. Of course, later they all flipped against him. So it's, oh, Hitler, oh, Mussolini, oh, sweet cupcake. Just like the CIA now admits they helped put Mao into power in '49. And David Rockefeller's written multiple editorials praising Mao for what he did and his great community of purpose, and that he was an example to the world. And then I open up the January issue of 2010. This is just one I saw laying around a few weeks ago and picked up. Every issue. You know, the latest is the 7 billion bomb, how our world will change. They're telling us we're going to have total tyranny to save us from that. I have another one. Yeah, I guess it's been taken out of the room from a year ago, where it's the Singapore model, how great it is. China is adopting it. Europe is looking to adopt it's horrible tyranny, but it's like slitting your wrist and getting into a hot bath. It feels so good. That's an actual quote. And it's just how sexy it is. Oh, man. They have the highest level of suicide. They're only having 1.2 kids. They're dying. This is sexy. This is as sexy as the case for killing Granny and all the creamy fetishes in Newsweek and Time Magazine. Every time I read it, it's all articles about suicide. And they got shows on MTV about aborting babies. And they're writing poetry about how beautiful and vampiric it is. Oh, oh, oh. I mean... And so they're just hyping this group of fad-driven airheads out there that totally being overrun by China, Chinese flags going up, China lecturing us, saying we own you now, your dollar's not going to be the currency soon, Obama bowing to him again yesterday, bowing last year. This is all done on purpose, sticking hands down pants, calling for tyranny, Jack Bauer torturing kids in front of their parents, the Washington Post admitting the CIA tortures kids in front of their parents and having a CIA section chief in it bragging how cool it is and how effective it is, and Rumsfeld joking about taking the gloves off. They're just getting us into an evil culture. The Romans wrote of why they had the gladiatorial events. It was to train people to see their neighbors being killed so that next month when they were being killed in the arena, arrested for no reason, their neighbors would cheer while they were killed. See, humans are peer pressure driven. And so again, just like the Aztecs, it was fashionable and cool. Women were honored to give their baby to the government, and they just cut the baby's heart out right in front of mommy, and mommy would just say, praise Quetzalcoatl. Oh, praise Chocmool. Oh, it's so good. Oh, it's so good.
New year, new way to smoke, and it's totally wicked. Introducing Totally Wicked e-liquid electronic cigarettes, the highest quality e-cigarettes in the world. With Totally Wicked e-liquid cigarettes, there's no flame, no secondhand smoke, no carbon monoxide, no tar, no unsightly brown teeth or fingers, and no lingering smell. Totally Wicked e-liquid cigarettes have a battery charge that lasts up to 8 hours. Plus, with a Totally Wicked Tornado model, the average pack-a-day smoker is likely to save over $1,000 a year. The Totally Wicked Tornado provides a storm of vapor. See it at totallywicked-eliquid.com. That's totallywicked-eliquid.com. Or call 888-761-9425. Get a 15% discount with promo code GCNLive. Go to totallywicked-eliquid.com or call 888-761-9425. That's 888-761-9425. Or online at totallywicked-eliquid.com. Totally Wicked e-liquid cigarettes, the next generation of alternative smoking.
Gold isn't for you? Ted Anderson, president of Midas Resources, one of the world's premier gold and precious metal investing firms. I get it. You wouldn't buy gold if you believed that the government is doing a great job, that the Fed will stop handing out trillions of dollars like bailout candy, that Social Security would be there for you. That's not what's happening. You might even pass on gold if the stimulus package wouldn't fuel inflation, or that the dollar wouldn't lose value, or that your retirement would be secure. If all looks rosy to you, then now is not the time to buy gold. For the realist, there have never been more sobering reasons to diversify with gold. Since 2001, the U.S. dollar index has tanked 30% while gold has risen 300%. Right now, savvy investors are adding gold to their portfolios. You should too. Find out what they know. Call us and I'll send you 10 reasons why gold will do very well, free. 800-686-2237. 800-686-2237. That's 800-686-2237.
Hundreds of nations have fallen to tyranny in the last century alone. This is our last chance to not relive history.
As they're finishing off this agenda, they'll be pulling the rug from underneath Americans at home.
They have tremendous influence on our president and Congress, and they really are calling the shots.
I think it's incumbent upon all of us as American citizens to pay attention.
Fall of the Republic identifies the enemies of our nation, the criminal offshore cartel, hell-bent on destroying sovereignty, and on its ashes constructing world government.
Tim Geithner, Bernanke, they're arsonists. They're asking for more matches. And the Congress is saying, who do we make the check out to?
Today seems like nobody does care. And right now in Washington, D.C., we have seen a fall of the Republic.
Get your copy of Fall of the Republic on DVD at Infowars.com or watch it online right now in super high quality at prisonplanet.tv.
Not all protein supplements are created equal. One World Whey is the first cold temperature processed, 100% all natural, unrefined, bioactive, grass pasture raised milk whey protein. Far from being another ordinary protein supplement, One World Whey is a full spectrum nutrition power food in and of itself, providing overall life-building benefits that touch virtually every human's life that other protein supplements don't deliver on. What are the benefits? Boosts the immune system, anti-aging properties, helps detoxification, helps reduce body fat, excellent for building lean muscle, increases energy levels, enhances the feelings of youth, sports performance, exercise recovery. Who's it for? Busy people, hardworking executives, students, teachers, active seniors, people recovering from illness, office workers, construction workers, and high-performance athletes. Call 888-988-3325 or visit oneworldwhey.com. That's oneworld.com.
Ooh, Lordy, my trouble so hard. Ooh, Lordy, my trouble so hard. Don't nobody know my trouble but God. Don't nobody know my trouble but God. Ooh, Lordy, my trouble so hard. Ooh, Lordy,
Monday through Friday,
trouble so hard.
11 a.m. to 2 p.m., many days 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. to go into overdrive. Back Sundays 4 to 6 p.m. I am Alex Jones, your host. Many days this happens, but I can't think of a time in recent 6 months or so that I have been this upset at my core, and also not feeling even worthy to bring you this information. It's so big, it's so powerful, it's so real, that to say that the communist Chinese now own the United States isn't even the tip of the iceberg. It is worse than that. It is all publicly on record that it's been planned. But China is only one layer of this. And so I want to go through what's happening currently and the ways that Hu Jintao has been publicly humiliating the United States at the pre-agreement with this criminal government, and why this is being done. It's very nuanced. But to sum it up, on record, Mao Zedong was put into power by the CIA and British intelligence. That's been released. That's even on the History Channel. It's admitted. They put him in power. The Russians wanted to nuke in the late 60s. That's now been declassified. China, they were worried about them. They could do the prospectus and the actuary on their rising power. They wanted to have a joint nuke on China. The United States said no. Russia was only confirming for itself that a secret behind-the-scenes deal had indeed been made. And there were cross deals with Russia as well. These are power groups working with each other, but also fighting with each other. But they believe in the power of the state. They believe in the power of the collectivist. They believe in transhumanist, social Darwinistic eugenics. And they've all signed on to the United Nations, and they're attempting to use it as a global vehicle where all of them tie into it, attempting to expand their geopolitical imperiums. And the corporations that profit from this sit above China, above the U.S., above Russia, and have vastly more wealth than the so-called debt. The United States is reportedly a little over $1 trillion in debt to the Chinese. $28 trillion in just the first year and a half of the banker bailout was paid to undisclosed offshore banks. A lot of it China, a lot of it EU, a lot of it private banks, brokerage firms, governmental central banks. When I talk about China and the EU, $28 trillion on their investments with J.P. Morgan Chase, Goldman Sachs, and others, the 6 mega banks. So we're told we have to be humiliated by China. Obama is publicly bowing to Hu Jintao, a dictator thug by any yardstick, who runs the country, who's got the biggest kill of human skulls around their neck of any country ever. Conservatively 60 mil under Mao alone. I mean, they have sports stadium executions every week in every city. Every major city has 14 mobile execution vans for petty crimes. You are just executed and you are gutted on the way to the airport. It's iced and flown into Japan, where rich Europeans and Westerners and Chinese and Japanese get the goods. Falun Gong are their favorite fruit because they're peaceful, they're non-resistant, they are complete vegetarians and health nuts, and so they are kept blood-typed and kept in jail cells and fed well for when their organs are to be sold. This is all public. There's so many facets. How do I even begin here? Harry Reid, of course, is in a lot of trouble for calling Hu Jintao a dictator. He actually got a slip of the tongue, kind of like Dick Cheney 3 times, Rumsfeld 4 times, said a missile hit the Pentagon. Then they talked about many times the shoot down of Flight 93, which the state police saw, the F-16s and the missiles, and they have the AIM-9 recordings of NORAD. We even know what unit, the Happy Hooligans out of the Dakotas, now disbanded, assigned to Virginia for drills. A general said, I don't care if there's a stand down. That thing's going into the Capitol. AIM-9, take it out. 2 AIM-9s, take it out. We even know the name of the general. They even had an award ceremony for it. Of course, I had Colonel Don de Grand Prix, former Black Ops commander, on to tell you that, and he was dead 2 weeks later. But we interview a lot of people that die, the D.C. Madam and others. Anyways, we'll be right back with that information. I'm sorry, I'm digressing. We're going to get into China in a big way. You want the full, deep understanding and scope and exactly what's coming in the future if they have their way. We're going to break it all down straight ahead. Stay with us.
We're on the march. The